Hey y'all, so I'm back with the script that I mentioned in my last video. I'm still going to post it on my IG so that y'all can reference it if you do resonate with it and want to join me tomorrow morning. Well, depending on where you are in the world when the total lunar eclipse is happening for you is when you would want to do this, okay? All right, so with that being said, let's get into it. So this is the ritual script for the Lion's Eclipse, a Shakespearean liturgy. You know what? I'm going to pause this real quick because I need to grab the cards that gave me inspiration for this. So first up, we have... Hold on. This was not the order. That was there. Hold on, guys. Okay, so we are starting off with Devotion. Mirabai. This has been coming out a lot. And Devotion to the Moon is what it's been coming out as. We have the Lion Moon. I've had this deck for a really long time, and I have barely used it, but recently I felt really drawn to it, and it's just been blowing my mind. The epiphanies. Oh my god. Okay. So this is the deck from the Literary Witches, okay? The first card that we pulled, because what I did was I asked Spirit, how many of the Literary Witches do you want me to include in the script for this ritual for the eclipse? They said 11. So the first one that came out was Sappho, Love. If you don't know who Sappho is, I highly recommend looking her up. Super interesting. What does that say? You burning. She looks like an angel. Reminds me of Venus, Aphrodite. And that's what this is all about, is love. And then 11, the 11th house. All right. And then under Sappho, we got Justice. Under Love, we got Justice. Audre Lorde. Okay. So I'm going to start reading the script, and then we'll get into the rest of the cards, okay? So the Lion's Eclipse. Total lunar eclipse, the 3rd of March, 2026, 6:39 a.m. EST, Chaldean context. Mars rules the day, Tuesday. The hour at the eclipse is the hour of... Hold on. I'm not really sure why... Okay. So the hour at the eclipse is the hour of the sun. The ritual is presided... I don't know why it says that, because it's not the hour of the sun, but... So this script, I used Copilot to help me write it, and I put in, the parameters, okay? But I find that interesting. Okay, anyway, the ritual is presided by Anael, the ruling angel, which is correct, with Mars in Yang as the day's ruler. as the day ruler's temper. Sorry. My brain's still like thinking about that. You know what? Maybe it falls on the sun depending on where you are in the world. Okay. There's something with the sun. Okay. I mean, it is Leo. Leo's ruled by the sun. So hello. Okay. Let me start over because I'm like ruining it. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Mars rules the day, Tuesday. The hour at the eclipse is the hour of the sun. The ritual is presided by Anael as ruling angel. Anael is the archangel of Venus for love. Okay. With Mars in Yang as the day ruler's temper. That's the magical hour that this is happening in. Yang, Y-A-N, which is so funny. It's yay! If you look at the names of the magical hours, they're all like, you can make words out of them and stuff. It's so cool. Like anagrams or whatever. Okay. And also like abbreviations. Like I found like so many synchronicities. It was just so funny when I was looking at it. Okay, the tone. Shakespearean cadence braided with the voices and motifs of Sappho, Mirabai, Emily Dickinson, Farrokhzad. I don't know how to say her last name. I'm so sorry. I'm butchering it. Farrow. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have heard of her. Zora Neale Hurston, Eileen Chang, Audrey Lorde, Shirley Jackson, Sylvia Plath, Maria Sabina, Octavia, wait, hold up. Okay. Octavia E. Butler and Emily Bronte. Rendered as echoes, paraphrase, and thematic invocation rather than direct quotation, save for one public domain line woven as a bell of recognition. AI be getting a little extra with some of the stuff, like with the safety clauses and things like that, legalities. Okay, but I guess it's, it is what it is. All right. So, prologue. The circle and the hour. Stand at dawn facing east, light a single golden candle in a small bowl of water. You're not going to light a small bowl of water, but I mean, yeah. I guess you could put oil on it and light it on fire if you want to. Sure. Breathe thrice. 3 times. Speak in measured theatrical cadence. Hark, the sun's hour holds the moon in shadow. Anael, fairest of the rose angels, attend this threshold. Mars in Yang, temper thy fire with purpose. Let no hunger rule this rite. We call the triad of watchers, Cassiel, Michael, Gabriel, to witness and to bind. Pause. Let silence be a stage. When I was first reading this, I had a video playing in the background. I was listening to like a tarot reading, and I was like, oh, I should probably pause that. So like, that's a message for someone, all right? Okay. Act 1, The Lion's Mask, Moon in Leo, 6th house. Scene, a chamber of daily labors made holy. The lion's mane is a curtain. Chorus, softly. The moon, a queen in service, now draws her veil. The south node keeps the ledger of old debts. Selena, white and near, whispers of the self unspent. Invocation spoken like a soliloquy. O moon of Leo, Thou who hast given crowns to others and left thy brow bare, come into shadow, that thy true face be seen. Let the scrolls of the south node unroll. Let the worn vows be read and then unmained. Action. Take a length of ribbon, gold or tawny. Tie it loosely around your wrist as a symbol of service. Speak the name of one habitual giving that has cost you your center. Then cut the ribbon and let it fall. Now I want to specify here, the ribbon should be on your left hand. Okay? Your left wrist. Because that is the wrist that is supposed to be... Hold on. I had to double check the way I was going to word this. Okay. The left hand is supposed to be for receiving, okay? Not for giving. But so often are we forced to give that which we do not even have or want to give. And that's what this is all about, okay? Or it's not that you don't have it. It's that it's not somebody's to just take, okay? And your right side is used for giving, okay? Projecting energy outward. All right, so take a length of ribbon, gold or tawny, tie it loosely around your wrist as a symbol of service. Speak the name of one habitual giving that has cost you your center. Then cut the ribbon and let it fall. Act 2. The Carriage and the Choice. This is Dickinson's Echo. Narration. Slow and intimate. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. Reframe. Yet here at the Eclipse, I step from the carriage ere the mound. I refuse the fate that was not mine to carry. Stage direction. Walk 3 paces as if in a carriage, then halt and turn. Speak the vow. I will not be borne by courtesy into a grave of old contracts. I reclaim my steps. This is the moment of refusal and of reclaiming agency. Dickinson's courteous carriage becomes a vehicle of choice. Act 3. The ancestral root and the giving tree. Narrator with the gravity of Mirabai and Maria Sabina. 8 winters and 8 harvests ago, a root was bound. The giving tree learned to bleed for others' feasts. An ancestral siphon took what was not freely offered. Ritual act. Name the lineage or pattern aloud. This is the siphon. This is the taking. So this is all based off of a long time ago, 8 generations back, where a dark warlock, wizard, high priestess, perhaps, decided to take it upon themselves to attach dark magics to a tree that was in their sanctuary, their little private sanctuary. And they attached the energies of all kinds of people, okay? And the town folk or whatever found out about it and took this person down, but they didn't know that the tree was the cause of it, and it just kept going. And to this day, it's been doing that. And that's why everything's all messed up, okay? So this is to free everybody from this BS. Oh, great. Okay, geez. I just got like a phone call, and I was like, it was weird. I thought it was like something was wrong, but it was fine. So, okay, that could be a message. I mean, this story is pretty spooky, and when I heard it from this amazing reader, who, by the way, is the only person that ever shed light on this to me, okay, and like, I mean, I've experienced many amazing readers, don't get me wrong, like, that got me through, seriously, but this reader in particular, which I only just found them recently. I don't even remember their name, but I'll try to tag them or something. Actually, I don't know if I want to do that, because they're gonna get rewarded anyway. So, okay. But anyway, so they when I heard this, it really like blew my mind, because it resonated so deeply in my core, and I was just like, what the fuck? And they were saying like the tree needs to be chopped down, and they're like, I love trees too, and like, I'm like, how do you know I love trees, bro? Like, they're that good of a reader. I'm like obsessed with trees. Not like that, like, I'm not like I'm not like a tree hugger, like one of those people that make out with their car, you know, like with objects. Like, I don't do that, okay? But no, I will hug a tree. What am I saying? I have hugged trees before. But anyway, so he said that, and I was like, okay, but like, first of all, I don't even know where this tree is. And he's like, you may, like, I don't know. So anyway, I ended up getting this download that I could just say to a tree, stop giving to them, to the ones who don't deserve, that are siphoning, okay? And I was also told to attack the tree, like whack it or something, and that was really hard for me to do. I did it to like, I actually did it to a stick. I didn't do it to an actual tree, but anyway. But like, you kick a tree or whatever. And then I was thinking about it like, in a therapeutic way. Like, I've always heard growing up, and I've even said as advice to others before, like, you know, if you're filled with rage, go and hit a tree instead of hitting somebody, you know? And like, we all, I believe, like most of us have this ancestral rage that's brewing, generational rage from all this trauma from generation after generation after generation. And this story is a huge part of that, okay? So it's something about reclaiming power. It's something about being able to take your emotions out in a healthy way as well. Okay. So anyway, where were we? Okay, so this is the moment of refusal and of reclaiming agency. Dickinson's courteous carriage becomes a vehicle of choice. Act 3, the ancestral root and the giving tree. Okay. 8 winters and 8 harvests ago, a root was bound. The giving tree learned to bleed for others' feasts. An ancestral siphon took what was not freely offered. Okay, name the lineage or pattern aloud. I just did. This is the siphon. This is the taking. Visualize an astral, but you could have your own story, okay? So that's why it's like, you know, personal to you. It could be, you could have been a part of this tree as well. Your ancestors could have been put on this tree. You'll know. You'll feel it when you hear this. I'm telling you. Okay. I am not doing justice though. Like if you go into my my YT and my enlightenment videos, at the very bottom of that playlist, you'll find the videos where this reader tells me the story. So that's how you can really experience it, because I'm telling you, mind blown. Okay. So, visualize an astral key, 8 facets hung upon a branch. Call the 8th key by voice and image. Return 8th key to the astral vault. Now, the key thing, 3 years ago, I acquired some keys from an antique shop. And there was 8 of them. Okay. And I ended up using them like how they did it in the Matrix, where they hung them above the door. Like there was, like, they had all the keys on the door. I didn't know what the meaning or significance of it was, but I felt like that was something that I felt really scared. I was like under spiritual attack, and I was just trying to kind of, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know about any of this stuff. And I was trying to figure out how to resolve the issue with absolutely no guidance other than whatever my instincts was, which was to hang a key over each door in my house, which there's 8 doors, which is so crazy, right? So, and then this reader ends up telling me that there was 8 generations. And mind you, this is a general reading or collective reading that they're doing. I've never met this person or talked to them, at least not in their lifetime that they're currently in, I guess. Because they remind me of somebody. A lot of people I've noticed remind me of people I've met in my life previously, in this lifetime. And I find that so interesting. It's like I could sense their energy signature. It's like they've reincarnated after they passed on in this life back into this timeline. And that's actually one thing he said too, was after people pass on, they see what's going on because the ancestors tell them, and they're like, oh my God, that's why, that's what was going on this whole time. All right, anyway. So so return 8th key to the astral vault. So with the eight keys, I ended up utilizing 7 of them in a way that I was trying to do an anti-corruption spell or working, whatever, for the collective, for humanity. But I did not include the 8th key, okay? Now, watch the videos that I'm telling you about, and you'll get the behind the scenes, okay? I feel like you'll get it. I can't really go too deep because it's not all done yet. It is, but it's not. Okay. By Aniel's Rose and Mars's Tempered Flame and Yane, I call the 8th key home. Let the unlawful siphon be unthreaded. Let the giving tree stand free of debt. And I want to say, and let all abundance return to its rightful source. Okay. Sources. Yeah, sources. Okay, so that was Act 3. Okay. Act 4. Oh, imagery. See the dark tower of greed, stone by stone, unfasten and fall into dust. not with violence, but with the quiet of a spell undone. Supposedly, this tree is being compared to like a tower. So think of like King Arthur times, like Camelot or whatever. And the tower in the tarot deck. I think it's like something to do with that, like with this whole story. And this like dark wizard or dark high priestess is using the tower to cloak themselves, like to hide. They're hiding in the tower and they can't get in. Nobody can get to them to get them to freaking stop because they didn't have the key. Okay? That kind of thing. And it had to be like somebody from this realm to give them the key. Something like that. I don't know. All right. Anyway. So, Act 4. The Forge of speech, Sedna, Hephaestus, and Aldebaran. Turn south. Speak as if shaping metal and sea. Sedna and sea, S-E-A, the ocean. Okay. Sedna, keeper of the deep wound. And if you don't know who Sedna is, look into her story. It is really profound, okay? I only learned about that recently too, and it's just wild. And put a comb on your altar for Sedna. Highly recommend doing that. It's a symbolic gesture of deep empathy, okay? And camaraderie. Lend your cold wisdom. Hephaestus, strike the hammer of truth upon my tongue. Aldebaran, guard the east where words are born. Action, take a small bell or a metal object. Strike it once, and we will use the broken chalice for this because if you've watched my other videos, it's highly symbolic. Oh, I have to put it down. Do it. It's not going to ring. Strike it once and say, from wound to word, from silence to song, let my speech be forged, not stolen. That makes me think of the story from The Little Mermaid with the sea witch. Okay. This act transforms ancestral pain into a language that frees rather than binds. Act 5. The Council and the Oaths. Pluto, Juno, part of fortune. Turn west. The stage becomes a council chamber. Address. Pluto, unmasker of thrones. Reveal the alliances that feed on hunger. Juno, keeper of vows. Show me which oaths are true and which are theft in disguise. Ritual choice. Hold 2 stones, one dark and one bright. Offer the dark stone to the ground and say, to those who take without return, go hence. Place the bright stone upon your heart and say, to those who mirror my light, come near. Blessing. Speak the part of fortune's promise. Partnerships that honor, not consume. Act 6. The wounded mystic and the healer's lantern, Chiron and Pisces. Place hand over heart. Speak with Audrey Lorde's insistence and Sylvia Plath's fierce tenderness. Thematic, not quoted. Okay. Chiron, wounded healer, teach me to carry my scar as a lamp. Let my sensitivity be a map, not a shackle. Action, breathe into the heart 3 times. Imagine the wound becoming a lantern that guides others without being drained. This is how we seal the siphon from happening again. Act 7. The bees, the void, and hope. A whisper, conspiratorial, and tender. If you know, you know. Okay, if you know the lore, you know the lore. It's there for you to uncover on my IG. It's the poem. I'm talking about the poem. One of my poems that I made. There's one where it's like a, there's a picture of a peace bear and a gnome. If you swipe, you'll find the poem, and that's like an outline for like good stuff for society. Okay? So, okay. In the void, the bees hum. In the dark, the hive remembers the sun. Hope is not a promise of light alone, but the small, stubborn buzzing that rebuilds sweetness. Gesture. Scatter a few grains of honey or a drop of honey into the bowl of water. Say, for the bees, for the sweetness returned, for the work that will be done in quiet wings. This is the ritual's secret. Hope as labor, hope as pollination. Act 8. The northward call, North Node in Aquarius, 12th house. Face north, speak with Octavia Butler's visionary steadiness and Zora Neale Hurston's rooted clarity. North Node in Aquarius, call me to the future that is not a mirror of old servitude. Teach me to labor for the common good without losing my own light. Vow, speak aloud one practical boundary you will keep after the eclipse, small, specific, and sustainable. Epilogue, sealing and benediction, Aniel's rose. Close the circle with Aniel's rose. Aniel, angel of love's law, bind this work with rose and reason. Mars and Yang, lend your courage. Let no hunger unmake this binding. Final words, Shakespearean cadence. So let the moon return to her silver throne, not as she was, but as she is reborn, crowned in truth, girded in service that serves the self as well as the world. And I think that's it. Okay. So, and then I'm going to just show you guys the rest of the cards, and then I got to end this video because I'm not going to be able to upload it if it's too long, especially on TT. It doesn't let me. Which, by the way, if this does work and you are watching this on TT, there's another video that I did the other day called A Love Story, but it's on YT because TT wouldn't let me upload it for some reason, which is really weird. That message was a little like all over the place, but I feel like it was interesting and it touched on a lot of important topics. The ideas weren't fully fleshed out because, you know, it's hard when you're in a limited time frame to dive super, super deep. Like, it would take me like hours and hours and hours to really get to the root of that message. But I feel like, you know, you'll get what you need to get from it. Regardless, okay? So the other cards we had here are, so the next set was rebellion, standing up against tyranny and suffering, not letting them take anymore. And that's another message, is like with the whole left hand versus right hand thing. There's another video I did, and I don't remember which one it was, but I talk about how I went to the hospital and I had to get blood drawn. I didn't have to. Let's not say I had to, okay? Because that's a problem right there. But I felt inclined I felt inclined to, okay? Because of what was going on. Anyway, this person basically forced to take blood from this hand. And actually my hand, which they never do that. It was so weird. When I specifically asked for it to be taken from my right side, because that's like my religion kind of thing. And it has to do with like Medusa. And the left side of her body, the blood can kill. The right side gives life. And I don't want anybody to have that power to take from me to kill. But this lady, the nurse, just took it. Okay? But I felt like, you know, like, love always wins. Justice will be served. Okay? So, I don't need to say much more. Okay? Then we got rebellion. And family. So this is the ancestors, okay? And I could go on and on about the imagery in these cards right now, but I can't. I don't have time. But anyway, I highly recommend getting this deck. It's really cool. All right, and then we got healing and the future. Okay. We got fate and fantasy in reverse. So this is not a fantasy. That's what that was telling me. And then this is not the order they were in though, guys. Okay. But anyway. But these were the pairings, I believe. I should have left them like on the table. That would have been better. And then we got story and the dark. So this is about the dark story that happened. And then we also have, these are the other cards that came out that had to do with the story. Elixir in the reverse. Something about a doll. Knife, athame, a cauldron, an apple. And I use these cards actually to be guided of what the ancestors wanted me to do. So I feel like these cards are super helpful for people. But everyone can, you know, if you're a diviner, you can figure out your own thing. These were what helped me get my messages. Besides that one reader. And also Intuitive Goddess 333. I believe is her YouTube name, is one of the other main ones that helped me. But there's quite a few that are really good. Teacup, Noose, Shea something. She's been really good lately too. I can't remember her name. I'm so bad with names, guys. I'm so bad with names. But okay, so that is the message that I have for you guys, and I'm actually gonna post that on IG, the picture of that script. So if you would like to join me, that would be great. You can, you know, and you put in your own inputs in there that align with your personal story, okay? And yeah. That is the message. Much love to you all. And once again, I'll see you on the other side.